First and foremost, obeisances to all of the Vaishnavas, and from us here in the temple room in Vila Govinda Ashram, to you there in London, in the different places in London, and around the world, from east to west, north to south. So first of all, Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya eva cha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Jai, to our deities are closed just now here. They're honoring the Boga. They're having their prasad, but here on the wall, Jai Shila Gurudev Om Vishnupad Shila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj Om Vishnupad Shila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. And here on the wall too, you can see the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda, the Acharya section of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
And to all the devotees in London and around the world who are connected here with us, and to you all, Ki Jai, and to Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. So here we are. We're actually in the London Zoom, but because we've got so many devotees here together, then we're happy to share our video. And they asked to be with you. They didn't want me to stay in the cave and talk together. And they were asking for sadhu sangha, for association. And somehow or another, that's the theme for today's.
We want to be serious. We want to be serious.
Okay. So Manindra Mohan Prabhu wants to be serious. There's another microphone. Please utilize the microphone. And so Devashish Prabhu, if you like, we already gave the title to all of the devotees here. And we already have a volunteer who wants to be serious. And this is Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And we have another devotee here who today promised to be a serious devotee. And this is Ishwarananda Prabhu, who by the grace of the devotees in Salt Lake City is very eager, and he's today promised to be a serious devotee, and he received Harinam. So if you kindly give your Vaishnava grace to him, he's a Sweet Lake Cityan, and that Salt Lake City was renamed, most of you know, by Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And here we have Ishwarananda Prabhu. So, microphone first to Munindra Mohan Prabhu. We'll hear from you first, and he'll be ready perhaps to say something in a short one.
All right. Splendid.
Dandavat, all the devotees. I'm trying to get the association of all the Vaishnava in order to be very serious. So many devotees. Wow, I'm being very serious. Okay, this theme is very important, as all we know, because, this is the theory. Everybody knows that, Kanista Dikari is more focused on the deities, and Madhyama Dikari turn more attention to the Vaishnavas. This is the theory, but the reality, I don't know. For myself, I always I love people, but I always want to be like secluded place and hermit. This is my inner desire. But this happened because we all live in the ashram, and little loneliness is like a luxury thing. Maybe maybe twice in a year happen half an hour alone, quiet silence in the ashram. It look like, wow, what is this experience, ecstatic experience? And but really is our life is to share Sankirtan movement with the devotee and try to serve the devotee, because Krishna lives in the heart of the devotee. And who is devotee? Whoever chanted at least once the name of Krishna is a devotee. And we have to believe that, otherwise we are offending the holy name. We think it's an exaggeration what is told in the scripture, that A Vaishnava can, who is Vaishnava? Who chanted at least once the name of Krishna. And then many gradations from this standard. Mahaprabhu explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there are more advanced devotees, super advanced devotees. So we always should try to get the association of superior devotee. It's a little difficult when we associate with the same kind of level devotee that we are, we are not applying enough respect, maybe, because we think we are all same, God brother, same level of practitioner, and this and that. But actually, we should always think the next God brother is superior Vaishnava to me, because that treasure everyone has in the heart, maybe not fully expressed, but is so much valuable. And we have to look always spot the bright side and forget the mistake some devotee shows. So in this way, we have to proceed and navigate, always spot the devotion, the dedication side in our God brothers, and we will find Krishna there in the heart of the Vaishnavas, because Krishna is living there. We all know. So that's why it's so important, association with the devotee, and the devotee are very dear to Krishna, so we have to serve the devotee and please the devotee, be kind with the devotee. I'm preaching to myself. And and appreciate the association with the devotee. Dandavat all.
He's preaching to me. I'm sitting right in front of him. But also, I have to say that this is Munindra Mohan Prabhu, and he's living in the ashram, and he's 100% involved in all of the responsible duties of the ashram, along with all the other ashram, I was going to say inmates, basis, those who live in the ashram. And maybe his words of getting half an hour by yourself is like a luxury. Maybe for many of you, it feels the other way around, that getting half an hour's association with the devotees, because you live, alone in the sense of not directly with the community of devotees, perhaps. So for many of you, I'm sure they're getting half an hour's association with devotees. You also feel, okay, luxury, we are meeting a devotee. All right, so good points from the humble heart of Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And we've got from London, Saraswati Devidasi is with us, and also nearby is Subhasini Devidasi. And Devashish Prabhu, you're there in London. We've got devotees from all over the world, and just now, too many to say. Oh, Nicole is also nearby. She's in Coventry. She's a sincere seeker also. So from London, we've got, and London region, we've got several devotees. Lavanyamai also, I see, is with us too. Ananda Swarupini. Okay, several devotees. So Devashish Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Let us hear from you kindly. And we're coming to London, and the luxury of London is we've got the association of Devashish Prabhu, who spent time with Srila Guru Maharaj, just spending time, being with Guru Maharaj and rendering service for so many years. And so let us hear from Devashish Prabhu happily.
Thank you, Maharaj. What can I say? Everyone's tuning in to hear from you, actually, but nevertheless, I'm always happy to say something regarding these things, these topics that we've chosen. And this is a very important topic, the association of devotees. In fact, we heard from Srila Guru Maharaj, 99.9% of your advancement in spiritual life will be dependent on your association. And he also said, if we find that we cannot find any higher Vaishnava, then we are in a very unfortunate situation. Not because there aren't any higher Vaishnavas, but because our ego makes us think that we are a high Vaishnava, and therefore everyone else is on the same level or less than us. So if we have that kind of feeling, then we're in a very poor situation. We should be aspiring to find those devotees who have greater status of what's called Vaishnavata, or the Vaishnava behavior, adhikar, the spiritual wealth. Adhikar means spiritual wealth. So we're looking for that, and it is very clear in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given this path of devotion, beginning with Sukriti, Gyata Sukriti, Gyata Sukriti. Sukriti means spiritual merit. Sometimes people are saying Sukriti means, piety, but actually piety is called punya. And Sukriti is something entirely different. Sukriti is not dependent on whether you're pious or impious, good or bad. It's just depending on causeless mercy of the Lord. The causeless mercy of the Lord, we get some connection with Krishna through his devotees. And when, excuse me, when that Sukriti, which is, like you can say, an initial deposit in our spiritual bank account, then when that reaches a certain point, that to pay out the dividend, the dividend that is paid into our account, that's called Shraddha. And Shraddha means faith, and not just I believe this or I believe that, and you believe this and you believe, not that kind of faith, but some trust in something very, very sublime and greater than ourselves. And that Shraddha inspires us and plants within us a deep necessity for sadhu sangha. And sadhu sangha means the association of the Vaishnavas. So all Vaishnavas are sadhus, actually. We have a stereotype idea of a sadhu, maybe, with a big beard and a top knot, and living in a cave in the Himalayas. And no doubt they are sadhus, but this means Vaishnava. Sadhu in this case means Vaishnava. And through sadhu sangha, then begins our actual spiritual life, because the next stage is bhajana kriya. And bhajana kriya means to actually begin our devotional service under the direction of a good Vaishnava. But all along, we need association. So when Indra Prabhu was saying, we're all together, but that's okay, that's great. We're all the same, but birds of a feather flock together. So when we're all together in a community, then we become more than just the aggregate of our parts. We become more than that, something great, because we try to inspire each other in devotional service. So this is also important for us to understand in which way should we associate with the devotees. It doesn't just mean that, I share a room with him, my sleeping bag's next to his sleeping bag, or whatever it is, or we go out for we visit the cinema together sometimes. This isn't Vaishnava association. Vaishnava association doesn't just mean the physical nearness. It always means it has to be in the line of service, and that means to inspiring each other to serve. Jai Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharbika Gopinath Jiu Ki Jai, Balagopal Jiu Ki Jai. So we try to inspire each other in the line of service. And Rupa Goswami has given us some direction also. 6 kinds of association with the devotees. That is, giving something to the devotee to help them in their service, to assist them in their service, something they may require, and receiving something, some gift from the devotee. revealing our mind in confidence to a devotee, and hearing confidential things from that devotee also, and and giving ingredients for to offer to Lord Krishna, and accepting prasadam from that devotee. These are the 6 loving exchanges between Vaishnavas. So if our association is always in this way, then we must be benefited. And equally important, maybe not quite equally important, but also important, is not just who we associate with, but what we associate with. In other words, what do we allow ourselves to come in connection with? There's so many things in this world to distract us from Krishna consciousness. In fact, the whole world is designed to distract us from Krishna consciousness, actually, in a particular stage of our devotional life. There's always some prospect. Try this out, try that out, and sometimes our friends are also eager for us to try this or try that, some new experience in this material world, or something that they find has given them a thrill, and they would like to share that with us out of their kindness. But that isn't really good for us. So, and not just that, we find that, now that within the push of a few buttons, you can connect with anything at all in the whole world. We know that now, through the internet. You have your mobile phone or your laptop or your tablet. In a moment, you can connect with anything at all in the world. So then some onus is on you to regulate yourself with that, not to just connect with anything that flashes by, that takes your fancy. We should be very careful what we allow into our consciousness. So that's the same with people, and the same with these vibrations that are coming to us. So if we allow that to enter into our consciousness, we're bound to be polluted, and the zeitgeist or the popular subjects that we find on the internet, they're nothing to do with Krishna consciousness, actually. They're just meant to distract us from Krishna consciousness. You can spend all day and all night looking up all kinds of, conspiracy theories, or all kinds of arrangements for sensual pleasure, and so many things you can allow yourself to associate with. But that is not helpful for those who are serious about spiritual life. And even, I would say, be careful about what you associate with in the so-called line of devotion. When you're searching for something, even innocent things to do with Krishna, you can find some horrible things coming to you. So we should be very careful how we associate with everything in this world. You won't get Krishna consciousness through Facebook. You won't. You can get everything else, perhaps, but Krishna consciousness will only come to you through the association of the servants of Lord Hari. And that doesn't mean they may also be available on the internet. This is the internet. We're talking with each other on the internet. But we've made a conscious decision to come here and associate with the devotees through this medium. But that doesn't mean that, that once this broadcast is finished, we'll be looking for all kinds of distraction on the web pages or wherever it is. No, we should try to fortify ourselves in Krishna consciousness and carefully choose our association. As much as we're able, Lord has given us some faculty of discrimination. So as much as we're able, we should try to associate with those things and those persons who we understand that will be beneficial for us in our spiritual life, who will encourage us in our spiritual life. This is so important, and it can't be emphasized enough. But real association is the important thing. And that can come in any form, physical or virtual or anything. But it has to be genuine. It has to be connected with the genuine sadhu and the Vaishnavas. So that's important in so many ways. But we should try to show a little restraint in our surfing the net, so to say. There's a saying in English, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. But I say an idle mind and a good broadband connection, well, you're finished. So don't allow your idle mind to stray into areas that they should not. Try to engage your mind. And we heard from Srila Gurudev that if you find yourself in peril, then even just by calling the name of the devotees, call out to the names of the devotees that you know and trust, and they will come to assist you in one way or another. Just remembering the Vaishnavas can save us from great peril in this material world. They are our shelter. The devotees are our shelter and our support. This is like, if you're an alcoholic and you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, first thing they do is they fix you up with a sponsor, someone who can look out for you when you have a lapse, and Bob's your sponsor. So then when you feel, I have to go and get a drink somewhere, instead of doing that, you ring Bob up and you say, Bob, I'm really feeling that I have to go and get a drink. And Bob says, okay, just hold on, I'm coming over, and he'll come and help you out not to go that way. So the Vaishnavas, they're our sponsors. When we feel that we're going towards Maya, we can call out to the Vaishnavas. And if we can connect with them in some way, that's even better. But even remembering the Vaishnavas will help us to progress in the right way. Because just remembering the names of the Vaishnavas, that is a type of association. And if you are sincere, that association will come to you. And we are never alone. Krishna is very busy with his Leela. And Krishna maybe not hear our prayer always, but the Vaishnavas will always hear our prayer. And when the Vaishnavas have some sympathy for us, Krishna will find it very difficult to ignore their request. So the secret of advancement in spiritual life is always to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas in every respect, in every way. Then we will get our real fortune in life. Association is the most important thing. 99.9% of your advancement in spiritual life will depend on your association. So, yes, Manindra Prabhu said sometimes we like to have some solitude, and that's okay. But when we are in trouble, then we should run to the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. And when we're not in trouble, we should run to the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas and try to ask them, Prabhu, please engage me in your Lord's service. I'll be ever so grateful if you can bring me into that field, because otherwise I'm very lazy. I'm talking about myself, very lazy person. It's easy to just sit back and do nothing. But if the Vaishnavas give some service to you, then you'll have some proper direction, some proper association, because association always means in the line of service. So anyway, this is my little contribution tonight, and I'm sure all of you would like to hear something from Srila Madhusudan Maharaj in this respect. But thank you all for indulging me. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Srila Devotees Prabhu, the secretary of the London chapter, now plural, of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And as has been pointed out by some other devotees, independent Vaishnavas, what Devashish Prabhu says is like my lecture, and what I say is like Devashish Prabhu's lecture. So Devashish Prabhu, lecture means talk, and Devashish Prabhu, he mentioned, oh, actually everyone's coming to hear from Madhusudan, but I can say they're hearing this message, and so please, in London, don't neglect Devashish Prabhu. I know he lives there locally, so it's very easy to take for granted who lives locally. But please not to neglect the connection, the living connection with with our masters. Yes, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and yes, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and more, we are amongst devotees who've not met either of them. And actually, Chaitanya Devi, she's translating to Portuguese today for our Brazilian section and anyone who's in Portugal too. But she made a good point in Brazil recently. She said that I always feel myself as a newcomer, but now I'm feeling that I'm one of the older devotees, and I most did not have the association of Srila Gurudev. And so I also am like that. We definitely feel ourselves as newcomers. And it is amazing to me how time passes by. And he won't mind me mentioning this, I'm sure. We have a super sweet devotee. Okay, he might mind me saying that he's a super sweet devotee. We have a very super sweet devotee. Those who know him will give a here if they're British. This is Nakul Prabhu from Malaysia. And we've known him literally, well, since before he was born, because I knew his parents from ages ago. But we've known him from a child, and he was one of the affectionate servitors of Srila Gurudev in the last, years. I'm very bad at knowing how long somebody stayed, but we can think 1 or 2 years in a crucial time when it was very important to serve Gurudev. And when he was in Thailand, also he was serving Gurudev there. And he was like the young, as Gurudev would affectionately call, Koka. But that's an affectionate name for a servitor. But we will say, Prabhu, one of the Prabhus, who was very affectionately serving Gurudev. Gurudev very pleased with him, but we know him so young. Yesterday we were on Zoom with the devotees there, and he's got gray, not a full gray beard, but he's got gray in his beard, and his hair's gone gray. And we know already he's been married for some time, now 2 children. And we see him with his gray beard, gray hair. And then we realize how quickly time is passing by. And so he and all devotees who have been like with Gurudev, they've all got some special touch to them. Some special spark has come into their life, which they will never forget. And most devotees, they do go into family life. The most devotees are in family life. But the Krishna consciousness, which really is the consciousness of Guru, Vaishnava, the seva that they've done, the seva connection, then this is so sweet. So anyway, here we are, we're hearing from Devashish Prabhu, who's had such association and such constant seva connection since coming with Guru, in contact with Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, and before from the case of ISKCON, the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So a constant seva connection. So just pointing out, very valuable. And what I can do, Prabhu, is, if I may, I just read a few words from Guru Maharaj, because Devashish Prabhu, myself, all of us, we want devotees to hear from Guru Maharaj and to hear from Gurudev and to hear from Srila Prabhupada. But here we are hearing from Srila Guru Maharaj today. And a few words I'll read to you. And I had a place. Okay, so we're going to start here. We're joining Srila Guru Maharaj in the middle of a lecture. And as Devashish Prabhu said, we've all used our free will to come here, to come to be with each other today. And happily, I've used my free will to come to be with you all here today. So let us hear Srila Guru Maharaj say something for us on this theme of the importance, the necessity of sadhu sangha if we are sincere. So Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Guru Maharaj saying, my free will, my judgment, My everything is so meager. So how can it come in contact and make some progress regarding the infinite? This is impossible. So this is one expression. Then in this way, self-analysis will take us to surrender. So Guru Maharaj was first giving some mood of self-analysis, what we would think about ourselves. So Guru Maharaj saying, in this way, self-analysis will take us to surrender. Surrender and prayer will be of primary importance to any spiritual student. Sharanagati means surrender. As much as we make surrender towards him, our prayer will be genuine. When I shall see myself as clearly helpless, then only will my prayer be substantial, and then the help will come accordingly. On the whole, there is only one most important factor: sadhu sangha. So many things are all interdependent, but first importance is to be given to sadhu sangha. And sadhu sangha, for those who may not know the Sanskrit words, sadhu sangha means association with the devotees. Sangha means association in terms of like associate. Sangha with an H, by the way, means like a society. It's a very similar word, but like a society name. Shri Chaitanya Saraswata Krishnanasilana Sangha with an H. But sadhu sangha means association with devotees. Sadhu is a devotee. But sadhu sangha is also affected by the results of so many previous events. So many things are all interdependent, but still some points have been given more stress. And more importance has been given to, firstly, sadhu sangha, then shastra, then sharanagati, then prayer. Though many things are there, a complex and interdependent inter-help, but still, if we are to select some principal thing for our help, the first thing will be sadhu sangha, association. Association with those more advanced than myself, and next importance will be given to the Shastra, the advices of the great sadhus. With these two, we shall take practical steps in Sharanagati, surrender. Sharanagati is real when it is sincere. Now I got so impressed there, I lost my spot. Sharanagati is real when it is sincere. And sincerity means I am helpless. By self-analysis, I am helpless. If we are truthful to ourselves. Then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, as much as I consider myself to be helpless, my prayer to the Lord will be accordingly intense, and the help from that side will come to that degree. And Sangha means serving attitude, not physical contact, but serving. Higher things can be contacted only through the relationship of serving tendency, not otherwise. So we can find, of course, many quotes from Srila Guru Maharaj, from Srila Gurudev, from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, those of our line. But here we've selected this for a few words today to say. And we have lots of sadhus, means sincere devotees with us. And I was recalling in Sadhu Sangha when I was in Brazil and I'm talking with Srila Sridhikram Maharaj, and it wasn't a public gathering, but we were talking about how Srila Gurudev, he was, Sridhikram Maharaj and himself, and we were with him, a few of us were with him. and talking about some specific point. And Srila, and Trivikram Maharaj, he's trying to deflect some responsibility, if you like, that he shouldn't be, he's not fit to be like carrying Gurudev's banner. I mean, this is his humility. So sorry, Trivikram Maharaj, if you hear it. But he is like deflecting, trying to deflect. No, Maharaj, you give this person or this person, but not to me. This kind of thing. And Gurudev said to him, and we were there when this was happening. Gurudev said to him, "No, I'm giving this duty to you." And then Trivikram Maharaj is saying, but he is much more, this person is much more sadhu, this they will look after. And Gurudev saying, who is a devotee? Who is a devotee, Maharaj? You think it. So therefore, from Gurudev's vision, in one sense, like a devotee is quite rare in the sense of really giving up everything, able to give everything to the Lord. And so this way, also, when there's recognition from above about devotion, devotee, etc., then we will take that seriously and also consider that 100% devotion or 90, 87, what the percent is, but high devotion in whatever form, when we see that, then we will give that appreciation. We shall try to see the qualities of those devotees, give glorification. And Srila Guru Maharaj gave the example that if we see the qualities of devotion in whichever devotee, but see that part and give glorification, honor to that part of the devotee, then those qualities will come to us. And if we see other things in devotees, negative things which may be there, like the mud and bubbles in the Ganges water, then if we see the negative things in others and chew that, especially with Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj says, then those difficulties, those negative things will come to us. So when we are having sadhu sangha, it is always to associate with the devotee part of the devotees. And as Guru Maharaj pointed out here, when we can get association with those who can help us through the obstacles, those here Guru Maharaj is saying those who are senior to us, but in other places Guru Maharaj is explaining that those who have this life experience in devotion, they can help us because they have seen themselves, their situation, or seen other situations where so many difficulties come, obstacles may come, challenges may come, but they have seen how to overcome those obstacles and keep on going. So sadhu sangha, the association of devotees, if we are sincere as devotees, we must try to seek out that sadhu sangha and take seriously what we find there. Look at the sadhu part. And always, and why we are reading regularly, trying to point out the message of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, because there we've got our spotless sadhus. Actually, so we've got our spotless sadhus, and when we can hear from them, then we will get like spotless guidance. And we have the beautiful book, Affectionate Guidance. And affectionate guidance, but also we can say it is spotless guidance. We saw Srila Gurudev's life very closely for 82 to 2010. And every guidance he gave, every guidance, it was exact guidance for the devotee. And always the well-wisher of the devotees, always giving nourishment to everybody. If we think of Srila Prabhupada's words, the fools and rascals, as well as those who are in whatever percent saintly and not so foolish and not so rascally. But Gurudev accommodating everyone, and Gurudev also seeing everyone as children, as sincere aspirants to come to know what is Krishna consciousness, to know the destination, to know the route, and how to continue practically in that route. So Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, really, there is our sadhu sangha, and they are our grandfathers. They are either fathers or grandfathers, or even great grandfathers. It can be in this day and age. We have that second generation, third generation, however we do our counting. But they are the gold standard for giving us our sadhu sangha, giving us our association, and try to understand their message, which their message in the books is what they were instructing to us, to our generation. And that has now found its way into the printed form, into the books. So this is like direct sadhu sangha being recorded and being shared. And Guru Maharaj referred to his books. Gurudev referred to his own books. Srila Prabhupada referred to his own books. So they are referring to their own books for guidance too. Guidance for the devotees. I've answered this. You see my book, there you will find it. This is what Srila Guru Maharaj did say. We've heard him say it directly with him while talking with other devotees when they're asking questions in the later years. But remember, when we came to him, there were no books, no books in English at all, by Guru Maharaj or by Gurudev. So everything was directly there. And we were saying just today on some one-on-one Zoom, or 1-on-3, there were 3 of us together, but we were saying today, for a particular situation, how, now getting caught up in my Zoom. What was the point I was going to make? Lost it. What did I say just before that? No, before today we had Zoom. That's where I went off the track, and I was trying to keep the privacy of the conversation.
Referring to the books, and before there was no books.
Oh, referring to the books. All right. And as we pointed out, yes, as we pointed out to a devotee today, we were sitting there and hearing these things, and we are part of that the helpless group who were coming to shelter of Guru Maharaj, and as we found out, the shelter of Gurudev too. And if it were not for the books, it would only be, oh, we heard from Gurudev, we heard from Guru Maharaj, and it will be us telling you. But the books then came, and it was our joy. Definitely Devashish will, we can ask Devashish, but he will also say, it's our joy to find that what we were hearing and seeing, now it is in black and white, so everyone can see. They don't have to reply. They don't have to rely on, oh, this is what Guru Maharaj taught us, that this way we should see, this way we should adjust. Now so much is available, so you can see directly, it is what he said. These are the words. This is his expression. So a great treasure in Sadhu Sangha, and Guru Maharaj here gave much importance to the Sadhu Sangha and to the scripture. And the scripture, as we just have seen, is coming directly from the sadhus. So anyway, I'm talking way too much here. Maybe we have lots of devotees, and we've got from Brazil too. The last time we were in London, last time I was in London was a week ago, okay, on Zoom in London. And I just arrived back from Brazil. We just come off the plane pretty much and come here, and then we're on Zoom with you very happily. And then the next day, I find out that just a few hours before, who we've been talking with, they've flown over here. And who is here is Dayal Nitai Prabhu from Brazil, Brazilian Korean devotee, very sincere soul. And he's, I don't know, better, oh, there we are, better half or other half here is Patricia, sincere seeker, and they've come from Brazil. They were coming to Europe anyway for their work, for their duty, and then they've come here and they're getting sadhu sangha from the devotees of the mat and more, who are now cooking and doing other things. And maybe Dharani type would like, on here's Chinmoy Dev hiding behind me. And I can't hide. Chinmoy Dev, he's now the next door neighbor, bought the house next door here beside Vila Govinda. So we don't have neighbors, the next door neighbor complaining about our noise. Rather, they come and join in to make noise early in the morning. Just Chinmoy Defu and Doyemoy, who is working now, as it turns out. So, Dayanatai, would you like to say a word or two? The importance of Sadhu Sangha, the theme, but as you wish to express to all of the devotees.
Yes, I think I can only share a little bit of what I've been experiencing, and I think this week, for me, just these days that I've been coming here to Villa Govinda, just highlights. And for me, it's been a feeling of when I'm in the morning working, because I am staying in a house nearby, and I'm doing work until 6, and then I come here to the Arati. It just feels it's really interesting, the feeling when we sit and we start the Arati, comparing to by the end of the Arati, it feels like the heart is melting on the way, and I think like being around Maharaj is the living lesson of the importance of Sadhu Sangha. I think it's not only with Maharaj, but with everyone. It's hard to describe. I guess everyone in London will have the opportunity in a few days. So yeah, I think the experience is for me, it's being the best lesson, being able to live these teachings.
Yeah, you can maybe give the microphone to Madhura Nanda Prabhu if you like. Oh, where's yes? No. He's maybe a little like Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev someday said, "Oh, my he's looking in the book, the Panjika, and he said, oh, today my astrology is not good for speaking English." So maybe for Madhura Nanda Prabhu like that. And okay, we have a prospective, and in fact, already a preacher with us, and that is our new family member, Ishwarananda Prabhu. And I see he's enthusiastic to say things. We've already heard his enthusiasm, and he's got lots of grace from the Salt Lake City devotees. And so perhaps he'd like to introduce himself to the London and the devotees. We're all seated in London now, so we're all together in London from all around the world. And it's about being in the okay, I just gave him a pep talk. Okay.
Well, I'd like to start with all glories to Guru and to Gauranga. That is a wonderful remembrance. But as far as the topic this evening, Sadhu Sangha, association, the benefits from it, I feel as though, like Maharaj was saying, he had that association with Govinda Maharaj and Guru Maharaj, and it's really nice to hear that those things are written down plainly and clearly. And as that was kind of off the topic, but that was really nice. As far as Sadhu Sangha and the benefits from other Vaishnavas around you, there's so many amazing qualities that you can see in Vaishnavas, whether it's their kartal playing or whether it's like their service and their hardworking energy, and like it's just, there's really wonderful qualities. And I was listening to a talk about wearing a garland around your neck of, that garland is like your own, like finding faults within yourself and wearing that garland around your neck and not finding faults in other Vaishnavas. Because when we get caught up in that, it's never going to benefit us. And like we heard, it's just going to come back to us. And Nadia Sundari was saying earlier today that she had a nice analogy of Gurudev putting all these disciples in a little bag and us being rocks and him shaking the bag. And that kind of resembling a tumbler of stones. And him trying to really cultivate something wonderful and create these wonderful gems for Krishna and Sri Radha. And so, you know, as the stone tumbles, pieces break off and the stones hit together. And so the devotees, you know, sometimes we hit together. And it's just, we should focus on our positive qualities and remember our placement. And that's, you know, lower than a blade of grass. And I shouldn't be speaking too much because, you know, my position is very low and I'm still learning the alphabet of Krishna consciousness. But like Maharaj has said, very, very sincere seekers in Sweet Lake City and very wonderful disciples of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. And so, yeah, just association is key. And as we've all heard that, and I can't really say much more, but Jai Gurudev and Jai Gauranga.
Jai. So please give him some good wishes. We need the young generation to catch the current, catch the thread, and spread that around. And if I'm not mistaken, you came maybe with initial introduction from Shyama Mohini. So he's come from school time. How long ago did you first?
I gained association and came to Mahaprabhu at the temple in Salt Lake City in maybe 8th grade. So it's been a couple of years. And that was through Shama Mohini and Vinod and Nielenberg. And them just mentioning casually that they have a nice little temple with nice music and good food, and I should come.
And good association, perhaps.
Wonderful association.
So, as Prahlad Mahar said, to even younger section, and don't waste any time. However young you may be, however old you may be, from where we are now, we must take to the path of Krishna consciousness, set our map in the right direction and make the journey. Okay, Devashifu, I'm passing back to you. And by the way, I was just going through the list of all the devotees with us. Too many to mention one by one, but so wonderful to see so many devotees and aspiring devotees, sincere seekers with us, and from, I mean, everywhere, from all over the world. So, I mean, it's super that we've all come to be in London to hear from the devotees. And Devashish Prabhu is our host. So I'll pass the microphone to Devashish Prabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj, and thanks to everyone that made some contribution, and not just by speaking something, but by being here. To be in the association of the devotees, that's our great fortune. So if everyone, if you remember that we need the association of one another to encourage us to proceed in spiritual life, and if we can find the association of those who have more experience than ourselves, who are willing to share that experience and that the treasure that they have within them, then we're in a very healthy position in our spiritual life. We should aspire for that, and that means we should aspire to serve the Vaishnavas, and in return they will give us so much encouragement and help. And not that the devotees are looking to be served, but rather it is a kind of symbiotic relationship that's been ordained by Lord Krishna. We've heard this, that Krishna, he wants to give some service to his devotees, but the devotees, they won't allow that. They're always thinking, I'm 100% the servant of Krishna and his devotees. So when Krishna tries to give something to them in return, they don't allow it for even a moment. So when, the likes of you and I, when we get the opportunity to serve Krishna's devotee, then Krishna's desire becomes fulfilled. What I could not do, they are doing. So I must give some grace to them. This is a wonderful kind of formula, if you like, for advancing in spiritual life. And it must be, of course, genuine, not a ploy, but a genuine attempt for us to enter into the association of the devotees with the proper mood. So this is our topic for tonight. I see the time has already come to a close so quickly, but we're looking forward to seeing you, Maharaj, in just a few days in London, and all the devotees that also may come. We're excited for that. We don't need any reason, but it's always good to have some excuse for a festival in Krishna consciousness so that the devotees can come together. So again, thank you all very much, and we'll say our glorification of our gurus, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Rupa Nuga Guru Bhargya Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda Ki Jai, Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai, Sri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo, and Srila
Jai
Bhakti
Shripad Dev, Jai
Madhusudan
Shripad
Maharaj
Dev
Ki Jai.
Ashish Prabhu Ki Jai, and Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai.
Jai
And
Jai.
a special mention for the very hard work of our simultaneous translators. And this week in Russian, Priyananda Devidasi, she faced the challenge and she did the translation in Russian this week. So well done to you and to Chaitanya Moy Devidasi into Portuguese, and to Praneshri Devidasi for the Spanish section. And so we appreciate especially your very hard work of hearing, assimilating, and repeating for the devotees, and giving more opportunity for devotees to hear the program both live and recorded. To all the devotees and Antikota Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Devacha Atitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And now we are going to chant Hari Haraya Nama Krishna, and we shall leave you peacefully there in London and around the world. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari.